tell you that. Change the economy and that's a fact. I be, you know the reason. It be promise season.
8:15. Welcome back. This is still the Citi Breakfast Show.
Tell you that.
So like I said earlier,
Economy and that's a fact. I be,
inner roads. What are the states, or what's the state of the inner roads where you live?
Just yesterday.
Now, our colleague Freme Dunyame and the Citi News crew visited some inner roads in the Gas Central municipality. And here's a report. Chronicling what they discovered when they went out on the field.
Oftentimes, when we talk about the deplorable nature of our roads, our attention most of the time goes to highways, mainly like main roads. But you ask yourself, how do you get to these main roads? This is why today on the Citi Newsroom, we are focusing on our inner roads, the access roads that we use just to make sure that we get to possible areas that we probably feel it has to be safe, even though those areas are not any better. We are currently here at Anya Palace Town, and the roads are quite bad. Now you can see that if you're not too familiar with this space and it's dark, just as it is in many areas, it is going to be very dangerous, and that will be a recipe for disaster. So we'll try and get some people to talk to and, just get to know their experiences when it comes to plying these routes. Now, when it's even during the rainy season, you can imagine what goes on here. What we are currently experiencing, the roads are pretty bad, huge potholes and very, very wet weather as well. The grounds are very wet. So how often do you use this road?
Almost every time. Almost every 2 days, yeah.
Okay. What do you do?
I teach.
Okay. Yeah. So share your experience, plying this route with us.
It's actually, it's overbearing. You have to visit the mechanic almost every month just to check your links and every other thing, especially when you care for your car. Because the road, it's pretty bad. There ain't no public transport, so definitely you have to use your own car. And when this happens, it takes a chunk of your money, and it's crazy. You have to, sometimes you can budget to leave home quite early, and okay, your link breaks on the road. You have to stop. The Gonse Road to Bowie is being fixed, or somewhat fixed, and I couldn't ply. You can see my tires. Wow. Yes. I just couldn't use it. I had to detour. So this is a detour. I was actually going to Malam, but this is a detour.
Wow. So you're still watching the Citi Newsroom. We are still here at Palace Town, and this road takes you all the way to Bowie. Now, can I help you?
Thank you.
Okay, right. So how long have you been living here?
I've been here for over 21 years.
All right. So share your experience living in this area. Your roads are pretty bad.
I came down from Ejumaku to this place 2021.
Okay.
At that time, the roads, the gutters even are not built. Okay. But during the Kufo era, these gutters were being constructed just after NDC won the elections.
Okay.
Everything stopped.
Okay.
And since then, nobody, not even 1/4 gallon of a bitumen have been put on this road.
Wow. So how does this affect your everyday life?
We are managing, because even the assemblyman doesn't care about this. When it gets to the district assembly election, he'll be giving people, those around his area and that, giving them some cash and drinks, and they vote for him. Me, I've never, and I would never vote for any assemblyman.
Why? Because you are Ghanaian.
I'm a Ghanaian.
Yes.
But their attitude, all that they want is, after 4 years, the money that will be given to them into their pockets.
The young, the aged, the concern is the same. The roads pretty bad. The request, government must fix the road. And this is the cry of many Ghanaians in other areas. So, it is that kind of road where you get to a certain portion and you need to get down and apply your mathematics. You need to do some calculation and then decide which part of the road you need to use. All right. I mean, you seem to be very upset.
Very, very.
What's the problem?
You look at the road. Look at the road. We've been voting. We've been doing everything from Ayokobo Street's time. up to now, the landlords over here, we ourselves, we contribute to what we call the benefit of the road.
Okay.
You understand? We use our own money.
Now I have here with me a unit committee member. He is Edoji Tevi Akwete. Thank you very much. Welcome to Citi Newsroom.
Thank you, madam.
You are the eye of the community. What have you observed so far with regard to the state of your roads?
Now, let's take Palace Town stretch. You can see it becomes, you can't, it's not motorable. And it poses few dangers to those who lives within the community. One is a health danger. Let's say somebody is in labor. You can't, even an ambulance should use this route. It's danger to the baby within and then the mother. This particular area where the motor has got into, we graveled the area, leveled it, and then when you go after the assemblyman's area, we did the same job there. But here we are today. Immediately the rain started, it has gone back to its worst stage again.
So how long has this stretch been like this?
This has happened, it has been like this for quite a long time, for about 8, 9, 10 years now. Yes.
So as it stands now, if you have to go back into the community to talk to your people, what would you tell them?
That is rather unfortunate. We keep also promising, because what the assembly is telling us is what we relay to the residents. So that is what we also tell them, that the assembly has promised to come to our aid. So therefore, there's also exercise patience for us.
Let's now take reactions from the MCE of Ghana Central.
I would plead with my constituents that noise-making demonstrations don't fix roads at all. But patience, if, just like you have come, a lot of them do come, and when I give them, we have about 35 residence associations, big ones. I've had discussion with over 23 of them. So right now, and with the evidence that we have presented to them, they know and they are aware and they believe that very soon attention will be given to their roads, and they will also be comfortable, just like there are areas that the roads have been done. One contractor told me that for him it has to do with the rain. So when the rain subsides, then he would come to site. It depends. At times, the contractors will come and take, after the award of the contract, it becomes a different story. This past time that you're talking, as I'm talking to you now, on paper, there is a contractor on the road. On paper, because a contractor has been awarded to them, he's taking possession of the site. He brought his equipment and machinery there. Within a matter of 1, 2, 3 weeks, we went on inspection with the media. We were so happy, thinking that he was going to finish within a very short time. He's no longer on site.
What is the reason?
We chase him. If you call him today, as you are sitting before me, I call him, tell you that you come.
So no funding or what?
He's some other contractor. I can't speak for him. He will tell.
Paid as the funds we made available?
But the work he said that you have to do raise certificate before. Maybe he's going somewhere, I don't know. But yeah, he has not done the work to any substantial level here. So talking about non-payment here, there, having we almost most of the areas, Deeper Life, it also connects to Palace Town. That place too, on paper, he's been awarded to a contractor. On paper, he's on site because he moved there and they've taken a record that he's on site. But he came there 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, and then they start moving the items, his equipment, one after the
It's 25. It's still the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll be giving you another report or another conversation we had with the Department of Urban Roads in a bit. So we've listened to people who use the roads, people in the communities, people who see the poor nature of the roads and drive on them with their cars or motorcycles, whatever. We'll get to the urban roads in a bit. But the much anticipated 2023 Ghana Oil and Gas Conference is just around the corner. It's happening on September 19 and 20. Mervyn Peak Hotel, that's the venue. The theme, Ghana's oil and gas industry prospects and opportunities. There will be a wide range of great speakers. The Minister of Energy, Honorable Matthew Poku Prempe, will be there. Other speakers will be there as well. Sponsors, Rigworld Solutions, Amaja Oil Fields, GCB Bank, Stanbic Bank, Fidelity Bank, Yinson Production, Harlequin Oil and Gas, UBA Bank, and Bayfield Oil Services. So lock the dates down, September 19 and 20 at the Mervyn Peak Hotel in Accra. Now, if you're planning to study abroad, it is a challenging process, especially if you have so many questions that need answers. But there's a place you can go. There's an event that can help answer a lot of those questions. October 9 and October 11. October 9 in Accra at the Kempinski Hotel, and October 11 in Kumasi at the Lancaster Hotel from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Intake Education, which is now part of IDP, will be having the IDP Study World Expo. Over 55 top UK and Ireland universities will be there. So if you want to have your questions answered, just go on. To register, visit intake.gh on Instagram and click on the link in the bio. Or call or WhatsApp 0596 081424. Register now because it's free. The future in you is now better, brighter, and stronger. Fanyogo is back. The Fanyogo we know and love, and the same old taste has returned. It's good for you. The texture and taste have been restored to what we knew. So whether it's the classic strawberry or the exciting mango passion, Fanyogo is here to refresh and quench you on the go. Hashtag Fanyogo is back. Fanyogo, so cool, so good. What?
Are they still cutting?
I don't.
You buy one and you share.
They have smaller sizes so you can hear.
If you are not lucky, they cut both ends and give you the middle. It's okay, and then it will fall down from the other side.
Right.
Poverty
is a crime.
Anyway, the NLA has partnered Ghana Post to bring its games closer to you. You can play NLA's games in over 50 post offices nationwide and on NLA points of sale terminals. Speak to the NLA on 0266087966 or 0266087946 to find out, get some info, and also to report if people are trying to scam you in the name of the NLA. If you are thinking of a mortgage, speak to Republic Bank. They are the master of mortgages. Now they are offering even lower, ultra low interest rates on all CD mortgage products. Call the Mortgage Hub on 054-010-9901 or send them an email myhome@republicghana.com. And the offer is valid until January 31, 2024. Republic Bank, we are the one for you. All right, let's get to the response. So, call and response. We've spoken to the people who use the roads. Some drivers are saying, look at the states of the road, really poor. Some people have been sending me videos on Twitter and all of those places. And just before the first report ended, there was a gentleman, I don't know which gentleman, he was talking about the fact that when you call the contractor today, he'll tell you that, I'm coming, but he's not on site. So those are the challenges. Now let's hear what the Department of Urban Roads is saying. We got our microphones and cameras there for answers on the state of inner roads in Ghana. And this is what the department, through its director, James Amu Godfred, he had to tell us.
The Director of Urban Roads, Engineer James Amu Godfred, has been sharing with Citi News the challenges government has had with the deplorable state of roads in the country. He tells us that a scheme is being put up to prioritize roads that are in dire need of repairs, together with stakeholders of various locations across the country, to have them rehabilitated.
We have over, about 60,000 kilometers of roads that we manage. So to answer your question, which ones we are dealing with is a very big one. First and foremost, our network has only about 25 to 30% paved. Most of the network is unpaved. And when I say it's unpaved, it doesn't have bitumen surfacing or any other type of rigid surfacing. So with the advent of rains and other climatic conditions, you get them damaged over time. And that's why we undertake routine maintenance to make sure that we try to bring them up to speed as much as possible. However, the task is huge. So we've not been able to do it to the best of our wishes, I would say. But in trying to address this problem, what we have done is to undertake what we have described as integrated mobility plans for every municipality or metropolitan area in the country. We have assessed the needs and the challenges being faced within these municipalities and also come up with proposals. But it's in the draft stage yet. What we are intending to do is to discuss with the various stakeholders in each municipality so that we can together come up with a priority list. Because obviously, we cannot tackle all the problems as quickly as we would have wished, and it's going to take some time. However, if we collectively agree on what is important to the people who live there, then we are likely to meet them halfway and satisfy them. So that is the plan and the proposal that we are putting forward now. As I said, the plans are in the draft stage. We are validating some of them with our ministry. Then we can have the engagement with the people on the ground. Then we can work with it.
Engineer Amo Godfred has also been providing some updates on some roads that have been worked on, like the Odoko interchange. He also speaks to the situation at Teshi Inner Roads and some other roads, including Bawe, Ablekuma, Anyanso, Wutum, and as others in the Ashanti region.
Odoko Junction. I don't know if you've been there lately.
I've seen the work done about it. I've seen the work done.
Yes, how come you don't talk about the work when we address it?
I've seen the work done because I think 2 Saturdays ago they scrapped it.
Yes.
And then by the time I returned, I saw some bitumen there.
Yeah, they've been working for the past 2 weeks, improving the area, putting asphalt there. Of course, the pavement had gone bad. We had to remove it, fill back, put crash rock, and put asphalt. It's ongoing. We intend to fix the road from First Light, the service lanes, and the main road as well, all the way. Exactly. So we are working on that. It takes time because we have to go through a process of procurement. Teshi roads have deteriorated in such a manner that required some urgent attention. We are working on some of the roads. In fact, recently, in the last 3 months, we have asphalted the Tubular Road. That's the route from Lekma Hospital Junction all the way to the roundabouts. We intend to work across the culvert where the fertilizer or factory is, up to Adugon. We are doing some work on the First Junction Road. We intend to work on the Kinkote Road. I don't know if you know the roads very well. And there's the Fort School Road. There are quite a number of roads within Teshi that we want to address as a matter of urgency. Because in the meantime, I think the Bawiza Road, some work is being done there. I think there's a contract also going all the way through, that is Wijak Bayo to Gan Central. I think there's a contract also going all the way through, that is Wijak Bayo to Gan Central. On that main road, on one of the minister's visits, we went there, and some action is being taken. So, yes, there are plans for each of these areas, but they have not seen the light of day yet. But over time, we'll get there. Well, there's the road from Nanakrum to Santo, which we are planning to work on. I think it's on the preparatory stage now. I think it's a 10-kilometer road, which goes all the way to the underpass in Ashama. So yes, it's come to our attention. We have done the design for that, and we are in the procurement phase to be able to do it. Kwabre was an issue which came up. Kwabre East and the Fija Kwabre. No, that's in the Ashanti region. Some work, appreciable work has been done and is ongoing. At the appropriate time, I think we could invite you there to have a look and see what is being done. But about 40 kilometers of roads is being done within those 2 municipalities. Work has started, drains are almost completed, and we will start the surfacing soon. This is linking one of the biggest municipalities. It has over 800 kilometers of road, and we are rehabilitating about 40 kilometers.
For Citi News, I am Caleb Kuda.
So that's Caleb Kuda with that report. He was speaking with the director Caleb, what's his designation again?
He's the director of urban roads.
Director of urban roads. James Amo Godfred.
Yes,
He's
Godfred.
an engineer. Godfred. Okay, that's the German spelling, if you like. So yeah, those were his thoughts. But I mean, in between that report and today, have you gone around to see or just to double check on some of these roads? Have you had people also confirm to you whether or not
the
these roads have been worked on?
traffic light intersection? I mean, that's correct. About 2 weeks ago, I saw that some earth-moving machines were at the site. They had scrapped the bitumen and chipped off the surface because it was the potholes at that particular traffic light intersection was really, really out of shape. I mean, the potholes were very bad, right? So that has been done. It was the bitumen surfacing has been done. I thought they would use pavement blocks instead of bitumen again due to the sheer volumes of traffic, particularly that comes from the side that leads to where the spare parts dealers are. Huge traffic comes from that end. And then there's a drain along that stretch also that often spills. So anytime it rains, it spills, it banks, and it washes onto the road. So if you use bitumen on that stretch again, it's only a matter of time. All this investment is going to be washed away and would have wasted it. So I was expecting that the Odoko traffic intersection would have used pavement blocks instead of the bitumen. But I understand the pavement blocks take a longer time to do and all of that. So, well, at least something has been done over there. The service lanes along that stretch equally that's even worse than where the Odoko traffic light itself was. The challenge there, they explain, according to the engineer, is that people who live along that stretch choke the drains with all kinds of material. Some people push their mattresses there. Some people gather waste from their homes, even old fridges. We've heard this before. And so they try to distill it, and then so that the water can flow. Otherwise, anytime it rains, the road itself becomes the channel for the water to flow because the drains are always choked. So it's a big challenge along this major highway. It's a very important highway, and for a very, very long time, the road has not been. It has been a nuisance instead of a mode of convenience for a lot of people. So for many people who are coming from the Kaswa end, coming to the Central Business District, they rather use the N1 instead of come straight through Kaneshi and get all the way to Gafik. So that end, the work there is really huge, and we are hoping that they can really expedite work on the Odoko traffic light interchange. There was one point that he made that is in the drafting stage, which is the integrated mobility plan. So here they come to every municipal assembly, and then they have a conversation with the municipal engineers, relevant stakeholders in the community, to decide, because of scarce resources, which of the roads are of pressing need, which of them is the top priority, so that they start working on those, because they do not want to fix roads that would not really be the topmost priority of the people. I found that to be a bit because you see, I mean, if you are sitting on top of the urban road structure in the country, you have all the data. Over the years, you would know, with the stakeholders, the engineers and all of that, you would know. It's not like you are going to fix a market or a hospital, a clinic, that you need to have a conversation with the stakeholders to find out which location should they be put, because we've seen structures put up and they've been useless because they didn't meet the needs of the local people. So there must be consultation, there must be advocacy, all that must be done, which is true. But roads are roads, in my opinion, right? Roads are roads, inner roads are inner roads. If you have linking or adjoining roads coming to these inner roads, that's a different thing altogether. We all know how important major roads are. If there are inner roads that lead to the major roads, then clearly you should know. For example, if you're driving from Ashalibotre going to Ashaiman, you will know that School Junction, Nanakrom Road has been done and it's in top shape. If you live anywhere around Santor, you will know that the main road that connects you from Santor Junction towards the Ashaman Underbridge is in bad shape. He tells us it's a 10-kilometer road, and that they have done the design and they are going to get it done. We've been talking about Santor for God knows how long. This cannot be one that we are now coming to have an integrated mobility plan to decide which of this road is important to be done. If you're driving from the Ashaiman Market all the way to Zenu and beyond, there are adjoining roads that connect to this road. We are not now going to ask the MP and the relevant stakeholders in that neighborhood that, oh, which of these roads must be done ASAP. The main road that leads to the market connects you to other important communities like Tema, brings you to Accra. That one is in a state of disrepair. I do not think that should qualify for this integrated mobility plan conversation. That is out of the conversation for me.
You just said that they are trying to manage resources.
Yes, but you see, if you look at the sheer number of people who live in those enclaves, and if you're thinking about emergency situations, to be very honest, if knock on wood, if there is fire outbreak in any of the major parts in that cluster of community, before the fire service or any emergency service gets to that scene, things will be completely out of order because of the sheer disastrous nature of that particular road. So I believe that in 2023, if we are now still having integrated mobility plan, now trying to consult residents and influential people and stakeholders in the various communities to find out which of the roads really is top priority, it doesn't sit well for me. I mean, that's the plan. That's okay. It's good. But I feel it's not even that they've come to the end of it. They are now at consultation stage, drafting things 2023. Oh, later. That one there.
So you disagree with
I don't disagree. I feel that it's been late in coming. And whatever it is, the processes must be fast-tracked. Because as the rains have been with us, you see that the roads deteriorate further.
Oh, yeah.
Do you understand? So now is the time for work to be done real quick, because we can't spend all our attention on the major roads, major intersections and highways, and the roads that will lead you to your home, the roads that will lead you to the markets, to the school, to the hospital, are in a state of disrepair. I mean,
When was the year of roads?
Year of roads was this was when the second term of the president started.
It started in first term.
2021.
Year of roads started.
Okay, I think year of roads was first term. It must have been before the
phase
election.
two.
Yes.
No,
So
the year of roads was supposed to be after, what do you call it, the elections, right?
yes, 2020. Yeah.
So the question is, you hear that, of course, people say I've not traveled around the country in a long time. The claim is made that a lot of work has been done in the farming community,
the hinterlands,
the eastern region, and that's what they claim, and they put the records out there. The difficulty for me is what happens around us immediately here in the city of Accra, and then also I can also speak for the Volta region, because the last time I used in this case it wasn't even the inner roads.
It was the main road, the Eastern Corridor.
Not the Eastern Corridor, connecting from the Denu area all the way to Ho. That's a major, highway. That road, I mean, it's just so horrible that no human being should be using it. Everything on that stretch is dead. Like, commercial activity is gone. All the events you have going along that stretch gone. Farming activity basically collapsing because you don't have vehicles using that road. Now, the inner roads that ordinarily connect to that stretch, they are also in terrible shape. Now, I'm not saying that the government hasn't done anything in the area of roads. From what they tell us and from what some other people send in, you see evidence of some work going on. But it would seem that in specific areas, there's so much distress. And I don't know whether the financial crunch or the problems we see with the public purse are affecting these spaces. You drive through some parts of Accra and you cringe. I mean, you mentioned some of the areas. I mean, just try the Amasaman stretch. Like, go into the inner spaces. The argument would be that some of these communities just developed.
Yeah.
They developed and now...
Ahead of planning.
Yeah, that's right. Now we are trying to extend road services, water services, electricity and all of these amenities to them. But then at some point, I think we have got to sit down and realize that a huge number of people live in these places. They live in these spaces. So that if you have, for instance, on the Amasawa stretch, you get to Sapeman, and then you go right. The communities that are in...
Oh, yeah, there are so many people living
Charlie, the masses...
Calamitous.
Before you get to your home in those areas, if you have an emergency, as you said, let's say that maybe somebody gets, cardiac arrest, or maybe a pregnant woman is in distress, to be able to move the person from those places just to the main road, before you even have to live with the trouble of navigating the major road on something disastrous would have happened. So, yes, we have not done well as a people to ensure that planning and execution of the plans precede movement of people to specific areas. But I think that horse are already bolted, right? Right. What you need to do now is to prioritize the areas where so much distress is killing the people, and move in with resources to fix those problems. Because I cannot for the life of me... Look, just recently we used a couple of days ago, we used the route to the central region. Anytime it rains on that stretch, Nathan, you don't want to drive your vehicle along the stretch. First of all, the deluge packs a lot of sand, a lot of mud onto the road. So one whole stretch. So if you are going to say Cape Coast,
okay.
So from Malam Junction or Kaswa,
Osiadan, Atala area.
This morning we had a couple of messages. I mean, somebody sent me a message that there was a lot of traffic. So I was wondering why there was traffic coming to town, and then somebody said, "Well, sand and silt had."
It moved like it's like you have about 30 tipper trucks have gone to dump their sand or their mud debris on the road. So one whole stretch cannot be used. So you have the one that goes to what they call a Cape Coast, the one that comes from Cape Coast,
and those who are coming from Cape Coast actually joined there.
Exactly, and if you are new to the situation, you'll be there driving and you see that all of a sudden somebody is coming at you. You understand? And it is so serious that when the floods hit, that is how people die. Sometimes the vehicles can't move. The vehicles get flooded. People sometimes park at dangerous places because they do not want to move forward any longer. And in the process, people drown. Now, the question I'm asking is, this one, is it an engineering problem? Or is a problem with where the water is coming from, or where the floods are coming from, or where the mud is coming from? I don't get it. You have designed a road. Of course, there should be channels underneath collecting water and sending them to where they have to go to, right?
People have built on waterways in those areas. And authorities will look on. You look on for people to build high-rise buildings, mansions on waterways where you know that this road is in a depression. There are hills along, and you watch people chip off the hill, build on top of the hill, and build even beneath the hill, so that where water should be running into the drains, it is blocked. And then the drains too, people have choked it with all kinds of substances. Like it's a failure of leadership. It's a failure of everything, because nothing is happening. There is no consequence for bad behavior. That's what's permitting all this to happen. And people get to pay the price for it. Because my friends who live along that stretch tell me, anytime it rains and they're at work, they know they're either sleeping at work because they're going to get home at 1. You just be in traffic, burn fuel, waste a lot of energy. By the time you get home, it's late.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse for getting to work late. You have to be back at work.
Nathan, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't cut it.
I tried moving from there some time ago.
Yes.
So that I could make it for the city breakfast
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yes.
And it was raining heavily. I had to make the sign of the cross. No, Nathan, it's like it's life threatening.
It is. I can imagine.
The force of water running at you. And I wasn't using a small vehicle.
Yeah,
My
were.
vehicle
It's
quite
quite elevated, yes.
But
even that,
it was difficult for the car to face the flood waters that were hitting at me, and the huge mud, debris, it was like a whole story building. In terms of, look, the thickness of what you had to leave that side and get onto traffic, and we're all driving
Against traffic.
breaking the law out of necessity. So, and imagine what is happening in the inner areas. You imagine what's happening in the inner areas. Just a couple of days ago, I went to inspect a project for a client at the site somewhere. This, look, if you go to, what's the name? They call the place Fan Milk.
Abrekuma. Where? Go say.
The place, you see, around the ACP estates.
Yes.
Area,
Uh-huh.
there's a place they call Pure Water Police Station. So the place is Pure Water Police Station.
And the rest is impure.
Charlie, no,
ACP. So that's Pokwase area.
Charlie, no, it's not Pokwase.
I hope your client paid you for maintenance.
Nathan, the people living in that part of town, we need to pray for them every day.
Because they are
Intercessory prayers.
Yes, because these are not roads. These are like gullies these are. I honestly, I can't imagine how people live in these.
And Sky, it's not a road network. You are driving, and before you know, someone has the rest of the road. Someone's building is in the middle of the road.
Yeah, and
that's what you find in these areas.
And when you are climbing, one tire is on the what is passing off as a road, and the other is hanging in the balance. You know, and you have to do the sign of the cross before. I honestly think that there are many communities in this country that are in distress.
Oh yeah.
And clearly the state has failed them. Of course, a lot is happening in other areas, at least we are told that.
Yeah.
But the struggles that these people go through every single day just to get to the nearest good road in order to move to work, and what they go through getting back to their homes after work. And I doff my hat.
And Sky, when it rains and you are driving and you're feeling sorry, the state of the road, it's flooded and all of that, but you look along the pavement, there's no proper bus stop, people have clambered around, and it's raining, and you see, there's always a surge in the cost of Uber, rides anytime it rains, and the people come around, nursing mothers with babies, pregnant women, young and old children. They are all there by the pavement, and the street is already flooded, so they are standing there helpless. No, when it rains, the scenes on our street is not dignifying. It's
not at all.
It's not. It's not an appealing feel at all. It's nasty, man.
Not at all.
It's not good.
I often think about.
It's not good.
Sky, you made a point. The commutes people have to go through to move from their homes. Some people, the struggle just to get to a tarred road is heavy.
Yeah, but who are we blaming for this?
But of course, we have to.
Who? I'm just saying, who? Let's take where you live.
Mm-hmm.
You complain of some of the worst roads in the history of.
Kwabenya.
No. Before
I moved to Kwabena.
You're part of town.
So from there, at least
Flats all the time.
to my end. Well, yeah, some of the roads were bad. Some of the roads were bad. If you wanted to go through the race course side to go through Nyameche Junction, there was a particular time where that road was inaccessible because there was a water body and there was a bridge, and it was just a complete mess.
Do you know that from the Zongo Junction traffic lights, that is ICGC, through that the small road that leads to Agbogloshi, or takes you to Circle?
Yes,
it's been a one-laner. This is not. It's basically has been turned into a one lane for 4 years now.
I got caught in some rains on Monday night.
No, you hold on. It's been turned into a one lane for 4 years now.
By the trailers or
No. By just the sheer design of the road and the fact that half the road is always flooded.
Yeah.
If it drizzles for 2 seconds from ICGC all the way to the Agbogloshi side, which has now been left in chaos because of the Obechebi road that they are fixing. You can only drive on the left side. Nobody has noticed. It's never been fixed before. It's been 4 years now. Okay. That area has been pothole ridden for God knows how long.
And this is coming from Kolebu?
Yes. The Kolebu road itself. We've spoken about
Tertiary Hospital.
The main road, not the back road, Latibia Koshima.
So if you get to the traffic light, you make a right.
I'm saying the main Gadgesburg Avenue road that takes you to Kolebu. There is no way the road that takes you to the country's, perhaps the most important hospital in this city, should be in that state. It's been in that state since forever. We spoke about that road. We spoke about that road 2 months ago. We spoke about it the month before. We spoke about it the month before.
Yes.
They haven't even tried to. The urban roads people, I don't know whether that road has not yet appeared on their map. The curve that takes you to the Bukom Emporium, if you don't take care, you fall into a gully right at the 10.
So that's from which side?
From the Gadgesburg Avenue. If you're coming from Amprobi.
Okay. Where you take a right.
A right to join the beach road. To join the beach road.
Okay.
You will fall there. There are so many roads of import in this town that have been left to collapse.
Let me give you another one.
You calm down. I'm trying to get to a point. And we then wake up most of the time and then we see, Cantonments Road. It gets fixed like 3 times a year. If you are Ridge, this, that. But what we've also not started noticing is that when it rained 2 days ago, let people who live in Abelinkwe, Jowulu, tell you what happened 2 days ago. And ask them whether 2 years ago the area used to flood. No. Now the motorway gets flooded.
Yes.
We know why. We've explained why.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go to Kumasi, portions of Kumasi that did not get flooded during rains now get flooded. Certain roads. So what we have is poor construction of the roads. So as soon as it rains, it breaks up. I have an example in my neighborhood. The Western Link Road. Good morning, Mr. Bray and Madam Eslo Uswakufu.
What is good about the money?
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying hi to them. Important. You know, the new Western Link Road is not 2 years old. Which is, if I put you on that road, and I tell you this road is not 2 years old,
you won't believe.
You will not believe me.
Sorry, which was this?
The Western Link, from Dansuman Kifit Club Junction.
Yeah.
It takes you all the way to Beniza Secondary School.
Right.
To last stop. They haven't completed it.
Right.
But the completed portions. I told you that road has been dug up 3 times in the past 2 years. Residents will bear me out. At the moment, residents drive on one side of the road because they have turned the road into a checkerboard. They dig up here, then they leave here. They dig up here, then they leave here. They dig up here, they leave here. You don't know when it's going to get fixed. Cracks appear with the rains. So the contractors are getting the gigs. They are not executing it properly.
Yep, the MC said it.
All kinds of developments are happening in places that, if they pay attention to, does not need to get into a worsened state. They leave it, and then it gets really bad. Certain parts of the city, you can even just tell they don't even watch, because there is no way, like I said, that ICGC road, the Kolebu road, should be in the state that it is in for 4 or 5 years, and they do not notice that road, which takes 2 cars on one side, now everybody drives just on the left side, very close to the median. Nobody drives on the right side of that road. You can't. It's not possible. And it's been like that for 5 years. Nobody has noticed. In the right, and this is the middle of Accra, right on that stretch of road, you see every politician's billboard in the median. From Wine to Wine, they are all on it. They drive on that road, they pass through. MC, DC, whichever one. They are the ones who fix the roads. When you are coming from the N1 extension from Kanishi, the one that brings you here, through joins the graphic road, you get to where the filling station is.
So
the
yes.
Pampro Junction. Have you seen it? That is a major intersection. That is a part of a major road. I don't know how that Pamplum Junction alone got into that state. The trotros live on the right side. Everybody drives there. You have to slow down. Okay. So when urban roads come to tell us, oh, we are fixing this and we are fixing that, and then you start seeing an MP here or a DC. That's what the MPs, like I said, I've stopped putting that blame at their doorstep. I deal with the MCs on this particular matter. Okay, start showing up and saying, oh, we are doing this, we are doing that. Nobody is solving the road problem. Nobody is solving the road problem. No, Sky, I'm coming. The road that you spoke about, we have a lot of listeners from the Kaswa side.
Yep.
It's been 3 years, so far as I recall, since Kaswa listeners of this show started complaining about the fact that if it drizzles for 6 seconds, nobody will be able to move on in that part of town. They have mudslides coming on part of, like Sky was describing. Basically, the entire section of the road floods, so nobody moves anywhere. So we ask ourselves, what is the engineering problem there? What is the engineering solution? So we just wait. Oh, the sun shines. Oh,
and
the water evaporates. So there's no problem. We go back to it. So this problem, the way I see it, look, it's going to be a lot of talk. There's going to be some show, like your friend that you went to interview at the Ghana Youth Authority. They'll put on a show here and there, fix a couple of roads here and there. But 2 months from now, Caleb will be in his chair. We'll be discussing these roads that you are talking about. List them. You list the roads. We will discuss them again. Every single road you have listed there, we will discuss in 2 months.
But you remember the president, when it rained this year, gave an instruction to the MMDCs, and suddenly they were all in the papers, in the front pages, in the news, saying they are going to demolish buildings on waterways, because that's also a major part of this problem, that people are building on waterways, and the floodwaters are, finding their ways onto the main roads. Now, what has suddenly happened to all that zeal we saw from the municipal chief executives? What has happened to that?
Whose house are you going to break?
Exactly, because then even before they built those buildings on the waterway, they needed permit. How did they manage to build those houses and buildings they have on waterways? And these municipal chief engineers, planning engineers, they are all there.
Well, you see, it is one thing just using bravado and talking big in the media and say you are going to break down buildings. It is another thing altogether.
Legally.
Yeah, because, yes, the person has put up a 2-story building, albeit unlawfully, on a parcel of land in a waterway. You can't just move your earth-moving equipment to the site and go and break it down. You have to follow the due process of law, and that takes time. You see, the lack of attention to detail, or the acquiescence, if you like, of these public institutions, the district assemblies, the MCEs, these are the things that allow the problems that we're talking about. Because if an assembly is working or was working properly, there's no way a 2-story building will go up on a land that's supposed to be
A reserve.
Of some kind without anybody noticing it, and moving into the area to halt construction and insisting that don't do it again. Recently, Kwame Sow, my good friend, somebody brought something to my attention. He had suggested that he what do you call it? He planted a tree some 15 or 20 years ago at his Villandro residence.
Right.
Some guy who wants to do a building in close to his site decided for some reason to go and cut these trees down because he felt he was putting up a building, and for some reason the trees were supposed to be
impediment.
I mean, how do you get up and act like that in a country ruled by laws, not by men? Because in this country, if you want to cut down a tree that you yourself even planted in your home, you need a permit for that. Do you know that? You can't just get up and be cutting, so that trees planted by someone years ago, you have come to the area
in a minute,
and then just destroy them like that. You understand? And when you fell a tree planted by your good self, the obligation is that you should plant another tree
to replace
the one you are killing. You understand? So that is just on the side of trees in the city that is already losing so much of its forest cover, and in a country that has lost almost about more than 50% of its forest cover, if the data that is out there is to be believed. Now, if you come to the area of construction, you cannot tell me that you have sat there all along, watched the buildings to go up. All of a sudden, there is some zeal from nowhere to want to go and break those buildings down. You have to go through the due process of law. Now, the question would be, where were you when the buildings were going up? So that is for officialdom. But residents too, citizens of this country too. Look, we are in this together. We saw a story from Libya. 5,000 or more people died a couple of days ago because we told that there was some, F tremor or something. A dam broke down, and then the deluge rushed into people's home, wiped out a whole city. You see, all of these things should be signs to us that if systems fail elsewhere, we don't know what may have caused the dam to break that. There are so many things being said. But imagine what's happening in the, the stretch I spoke about, the Kaswa area. Makati Hills. After Makati Hills, if you go a bit down, people have chipped the hills and they have built on it.
Oblogo, they call it.
Yeah, that's right. Go to Iburi. Yeah. The same thing is happening.
At the speed of light.
And it's like people are sitting down, they are watching
buildings are going
they
up.
are disturbing the structural integrity, if I can use that phrase, of the mountainous region or the hills.
Yeah, it forms.
And one day, God forbid, something happens and a lot of buildings will give way. And people who are down there, people who are, in the lower lands, in the valleys, ask yourself what will happen to them. So it is not all about, I have some small money here and there, let me just go and move to this side and do something. At the end of the day, think about how the project you are putting up illegally would impact yourself, your family, or generations yet unborn, years from now. Because ultimately, water will find its own level.
It will.
And nature always wins. The time will come, the buildings will give way, and people will die as a result. We have not learned lessons from the Malcolm disaster. We have not learned lessons from all the other buildings that collapsed. Investigations get done, nothing get done.
Yeah.
Right? A beautiful doctor was going home from work. The
container.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's returning from rehearsal, actually.
Charlie, died because for some reason our collective irresponsibility led to the gutters getting choked, and when the rains came, the floodwaters came, a lot of things happened. And the level of irresponsibility we see on the part of contractors, some contractors in this country, is just unbelievable. They are building a road. They do the side bazaar. Look, I've been around the world. I've seen a few things here and there.
Thank you.
You go to a construction site elsewhere, the kind of order, you even want to sleep there. Because you don't see the kinds of things you see at a construction site in Ghana, in these countries, because there are standards where you are to leave your equipment, where you are to leave your cranes, what level of supervision should go into the use of these things, and when they are no longer in use, how do you demobilize them so that people who are using the roads, the shoulders of the road, passers-by, do not get caught up in a problem that results in serious complications for their health or undermines public safety. Yet in this country, people, look, I have no doubt in my mind that the June 4 disaster that we saw, was it June 5? It was June 3, right? Mm-hmm. We saw. There may well have been a part played by contractors who were working around the circle area. Because if you look at it, the whole place all of a sudden got flooded. It went into an underground storage tank, the water, the flood waters, elevated the petrol, and whatever may have been happening around, boom, people died. And for some reason, nobody has paid the price in this country for it. Anytime I pass there, it reminds me of the gory, should I call it accident, that happened on June 3. Yeah. And yet, so many years on, nobody has paid the price for that level of negligence, irresponsibility, heartlessness that led to so many people dying. And we come back, resile to our comfort zones, and then life goes on. I think the problem we're seeing with our roads, the level of neglect, the I don't careism, lives getting lost, it is not something that we should see from our officials. Let's see some progress being made. And the most annoying aspect is that some of the roads that are already fine, you see the contractors on them, and they say resurfacing of the
which is my problem. The fact that we are doing resurfacing in a lot of these places, when there are roads, like I said, it's been 5 years, 6 years, and these are not like, it's not like they're not important roads. So what will it take to fix the Kolebu Road, the Gajisberg Avenue, the main one? What will it take? In the 3 years that we have resurfaced cantonments and airport 5 times, what has happened on that road? What happens in cantonments and airports that does not happen on that road? It's the road to Kolebu. Look, the other time I was from Accra, and there was an ambulance coming from the Mamprobi post office side. Top speed, you know how ambulances move. And I was just asking myself, near the ATM farm in front of Kolebu, where the buses stop, where the coconut people are. Look, it's chaotic. And then you have potholes everywhere. How is this ambulance going to manage to get there? And you know what's crazy about that road? That stretch has the National Blood Bank. This road I'm talking about too, has the National Blood Bank, has Kolebu itself, has the polyclinic on that road, has the fire service, main fire service for the area on the right side of that road as well. Look at these institutions.
When you have a cardiac arrest, for instance, every second counts.
Your window is very, very,
it's very, very narrow. And if an ambulance driver had has to now get to what do you call a section of the road and now choose where to pass and where not to pass.
That's
5 minutes
and
could become
you're
what
gone.
10 minutes
Yeah.
and you are gone. So the level of irresponsibility, we have to do something about it because it cannot continue. It cannot. And very soon, very, very, very soon, we'll begin to sue these public institutions left, right, and center.
They should be
That time,
is approaching.
Things are finding their smoothness level. And we'll see whether in this country, because the judges who will sit on these matters, they are leaving the community.
And they see.